separated now.
No, either that or I was gonna go through the 6 Psalms of Vespers and the priestly prayers, but I decided against that. We'll do that sometime. So Lord, I've cried. So this is, as it says, sung at all night vigils. A lot of times the Greek churches will do this for certain things, or Holy Cross, the seminary will do that. And I have a recording of this. If anyone wants to hear it, it's Rasim El Messiah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's singing it. Very good, very very good.
In Arabic or English?
English. This version.
Oh yeah,
specifically.
I
So we'll just sing through it. It's long, so it's not terribly complicated, but just
Those first 2 notes are enough.
long.
keep track, of things.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, the only
I still couldn't get past those 2 notes.
so the first 2 notes.
Look at these. Look at that. Look at that. How do you read that?
It's
one?
just
That
the
second
triplet.
one.
It's just the triplet.
But it's got the digorgon.
Yeah, the triplet. Yeah.
And
Lord. Yep. One triplet.
What is that?
For.
Dots.
dots
Yeah.
Well,
underneath.
that's a da. So first is da da da, no da.
So.
So the beginners to
Okay.
the intermediate.
You need to come up to Vespers, man.
So.
And I still can beat you at the chanter stand.
So the first note. So it's just four. The first thing is 4 sets of notes, and then it's just 1 E and 1 2 3 4 1, and it goes back, and then we're good to go. So unless you guys want to look ahead and see if there's anything super complicated in here, you've got the Lord again, that triplet. In the middle of the second page, you've got a bunch of 4s. And this is where I'll talk about something in a second, whenever you guys want me to.
Okay, then got some repeating stuff going on.
So do you have allergies?
No. Nasal drainage, acid, whatever, gave me a sore throat for many days.
Really?
I think he needs to go on the AIP protocol. The autoimmune protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not drinking enough bone broth.
Yes.
I do like bone broth, but I don't drink it.
Drink more.
Okay, what do you want to tell us?
Okay, so the thing that sometimes is helpful with these things, especially when you're counting really long times, is the fact that it's, everything in general is just duple meter, we'll say. It's got there's really no meter, but you can, 1 2 1 2 is a good way. So it's 1 2 1 2. But when you start getting into the 4s and the triplets and things, especially when you're counting with lots of dots, that's when starting to conduct, because the Byzantines also, they have the 1 2 3 4 1 2 1, and then the same with the 1 triplet. And sometimes what your hand does is correct, and so as long as you follow the hand, you don't necessarily need to count, because you look at where the lines are and you're like, oh, this all lines up. So let's say like in the middle of page 481, right after hearken unto me, let's see, 1 2 3 4, 5th line, you've got a bunch of 4s that are written there.
Yeah.
That there's so many lines and so many things going on there. That's a lot to keep track of. But if you've got the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, it makes it much more easy to keep track of. Something I just learned recently, just to actually do that. Especially when you start getting into 5s and 6s and 7s and 8s, and it gets really complicated. But
so you do the hand thing when you watch you, is that right?
no, you can do too. Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, they apparently in Greece, if you're taking an exam, you have to be, counting it out.
Oh, I was thinking if you're singing in a choir.
Oh, well, in a choir, no one would be doing it. I mean, especially.
Psalmist, wouldn't he?
Well, if you're in a concert. Yeah.
Or in the church even. Doesn't he do that?
Yeah, I mean, he can, yeah.
And everyone else watches him, so they don't have to count.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't do that. Well, you
I
do
do.
little
He
things,
does little things.
so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well,
But so
he more indicates notes than.
we'll sing it and see how we go. So. On honest Lord. start that one more time. So
Done that.
let me bring it up a little bit. So
Please.
on
Let's give it a go with some pumpkin.
Let me figure out what a D actually is. On I think that should be fine. Let me just make sure. On it doesn't go terribly high. 1, 2. Lord, I have cried unto thee. Okay, how was that?
We all end up on the same note.
Much better than I expected. Mm.
You got there by different routes.
And that's not necessarily too slow. You could definitely pull it faster, but do it again from the beginning. Or?
Yeah.
1, 2. Lord, I have cried unto thee. Okay, so the one thing right at that tail end, when we get the N at the end of that first line on the second page, so that little hold on the Iparoi in that second line, not a hold, but a second beat. So people were kind of skipping over that. So, any questions? Any thoughts? It's not really difficult. It's just like keeping track.
Right.
So that's the
There's
the
this
out part.
long string of symbols with no words. It's like
Yeah.
you've got to
And
really.
that's the real key is keeping track at this point, because you know everything that's on the page. You know, there's nothing tremendously fancy. So it's really keeping track and looking ahead. So hearken. So, do you wanna do it again? Or?
Yeah, sure.
From 10. just the.
So now that the fun part is that we're kind of out of tone 1 because we're centering around Zo,
Yeah.
which is the thing that we've never done is the diatonic grave mode from Zo. So now you get a kind of a flavor of we keep circulating around Zo, and it gives it this kind of a heaviness to it. We're gonna go over those 4s in there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, there's some fun times in there.
I just hit the station too early.
Do you want me to draw anything on the board?
No,
or-
no, no.
Okay. So the first 4. I can't put it.
You can try.
Yeah, at some point I've seen it close.
His intention
The,
was to close the door.
so the first 4, from that top note, you know that there's going to be 4 beats.
Sorry, where?
The first 4 on that
Third
to
line,
me,
end of the
yeah.
third line?
Wait a second. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line.
Fifth line. The first one is
Yeah,
fifth line.
that first
Okay,
4
yeah.
on the 5th line.
Mhm.
So that one, the top, the 3 mi argon on top of that, that holds it for how many beats?
2.
Is it? So the note itself is going to be 2 beats or 3 beats.
I'm sorry, which note?
The one on let me draw what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so let's see. So we got this thing. Right with the 4 on top. So this note on the top. So we've got this followed by this. So
Right.
Then
That note's 2.
has 2 dots.
That's name, yes.
Yeah. So we got 3 dots. So then this is 3 beats. And then after that, then we've got this thing. So and then we come down. So and then we've got more dots. So and then there's a bar up here. So this is 3, 1, 2, 3, and the 4 is here. The 4 applies to this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so then this gets put here because it cuts this one in half. And then we start again on the second of these, if that makes any sense. Or I can pull it apart even further. And if anyone sees right.
Yay, goddaughter. You go, girl.
So that second,
That's my goddaughter.
what?
She said she got it, and I said, yeah, that's my goddaughter.
She's your goddaughter.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Well, when she gets chrismated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
She's not.
not yet.
But then I've
Well,
already,
I
thought I just
I've
missed-
already
I just thought I-
adopted
I just thought I missed
her.
something.
I've
I
already
haven't- I
adopted
haven't missed
her.
anything, it sounds like.
Yes.
But that's, they think that second note has 2 beats, right?
This one?
3 is what you're saying?
Yeah, if it was this,
Yeah,
then it would be,
Oh, okay.
right, then
And
that
then going to
equals,
take care
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
this.
okay, yeah, you're right.
And then
And so
come
this one.
home,
I guess I'm used to seeing that. You're right, okay.
yeah, so this is now 3.
Oh, that's what I did wrong.
Okay, yeah.
playing with the
I only gave it
spiders
2.
and
So,
critters.
so 3, then, so this is 3, 4, and this bar, because.
So the 4 counts on, the 4 starts counting on the upper note.
Mhm,
Okay.
yep,
I didn't get that either.
Yeah, and then this
Now,
bar.
how do you know that?
What?
How do you know that? Just because does this make any sense any other way?
You would never, the upbeat would never be on a kandimata.
Don't
Because
you know that?
it's an unstressed syllable. Because it's one of the, it's always on the upbeat, the kandimata, in general.
Okay, so that tells you that's not part of that.
Yeah,
measure
exactly.
for
Because
like a weapon.
on the first beat of the 4, it's going to be a strong beat,
Okay.
and so that the kandimata on the bottom wouldn't be there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's satisfactory enough.
No, I know.
Yeah.
File it away for
So and then this
later
one,
edification.
then this one splits this one in half. So that bar goes right there. So we know 4 beats is done there, and then we start another set of 4 because we have a 4 in the next in between 2 bar lines. But there's so much going on in here that they can't put the 4 there, so they put it after it. So then you have this thing, another one of these equally. So yeah, and so then you've got a bar line right here. So you've got 2 dots here. So this is going to be 3 beats here. And so then we have this, and so then this is going to have a 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bar there. Yeah. And then I think we're home 3 after that. And the reason they put the bar here is because there's an Nissan on top of here, so there's no way to, when there's so much going on, you've got no space to put it. So they put it as close as you can And then when you're reading the music, it's assumed that you kind of
You can figure it out on the
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, exactly.
So at least this is second. Yeah, it starts here.
Okay.
So
Maybe
I don't know if
if we
that
sing,
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sing it very slowly.
Sure. Yeah,
Maybe that'll help.
More slowly.
Oh, where?
Parking,
Where do we
yeah, more
start?
slowly, but slow.
Let's see. Yeah, hearken. Right before the line before that.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't amazingly slow yet. So we can do it slower than that. I apologize. You want to do it slower, or was that?
I could do it.
You're the one asking for slow. Is that slow enough?
You know, I wouldn't.
So
mind
the
if you could.
unto thee, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3,
Yeah. No, I could follow it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I can follow it, but it's, just if I had to do it alone.
Yeah. Well, I swear at some point, I know with myself, I would have to sit there and be like, does this really mean what it says? I agree with the numbers, but I don't necessarily agree that it says that. So, is there everyone else? Okay.
Should make sense.
Okay, cool. What is the next note after that Zo?
Ooh, no.
You can also tell me how many notes up it is.
B. It's up
I
five.
think it's D too.
It's up five, so it's B.
I agree.
Which I have no cheat sheet.
Add 1 to the 4.
Right. Yeah. It's up six.
That's I'm trying to add it up.
Up 5 notes.
Up 5 notes. Right on the 6th.
Yes.
So we're there. And sometimes what happens is that the Isan moves, and then the melody moves because it's a big oh. But if you hear the Isan, then you know exactly where the is. It just makes it easier. And sometimes that's just if you're pausing the Isan.
Someone's got to know where the are.
Yeah.
Where the D is.
Yep. So Lord, That knee.
Yeah.
Knee. Knee. Da, da.
Yeah.
Let
Okay.
it fly, is it me? Oh, that's 2 steps.
Alright, so right from that knee. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Hearken. Hearken unto me.
What was that?
So one thing,
Same thing.
Yeah.
one thing to pay attention is we have this little the syndesmos. This little guy. This little guy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we haven't really seen before is why it's used. In this case, if you notice, let's say on the top of the page at a tend, and the 4 with a tend, that would tell you don't breathe there. Anywhere else breathe, but just not. They don't want you to breathe there specifically. So the syndesmos is the connector. So that's just one of those symbols to connect everything together. Now, if you do breathe, it's not a heresy of any sort, but
But it
You
will
were the only
open-
one.
It will open a portal to a dimension you don't
Yeah.
want to open.
yeah, you could become one. soon.
Yes.
You know you're a heretic when.
And-
Yeah. So let's go me on the first line. Me. Do you know where I am?
No.
First line of
42?
42?
Yeah.
Yeah. On me. Emmy.
On me?
Me. Emmy.
Me. M-E.
Oh, and me. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I thought you were saying me.
That's what I thought too. So I was
I
No.
like,
said, why start there?
I don't know.
Okay, now
No.
I-
I'm with you.
On yeah M.
I thought that was a little high.
M-E.
I for sure didn't
So
get all
sharp
those.
flat.
I didn't get all those gargoyles right.
This is when having a Nissan machine. I should have brought one with me. I should have thought about that because it's nice to feel how these things feel with the ISA.
Well, you're
Did we get
struggling
off
to
the
find the note.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's where
Did
at
we
one
get
point
off
something got a little pitchy.
You can use your little thing you showed.
It's not loud enough.
Oh.
So, so start over at maybe to the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2.
To the
voice, to the voice. Okay.
Which
So,
was lost it. There's 2 or 3 to the voices. That's right.
We only got to the first one.
Oh,
This one, then we're at the end of the second line.
oh,
That's where
yeah.
we're
the
Yeah.
second one, okay.
Yep. Okay, one more time. That first to the voice. To the voice, to the voice. So this is pa. Seems like we're not doing the right intervals. Let's do it on ni pa fu. If that's okay. So this is ni pa pa vu ga vu pa. Pa 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 vu ni pa vu ga li ga vu ga li ke li ga li ga ga vu ga li ga vu ga ga. Okay.
Not really.
It is strange. Why don't they put that more of the chromatic?
Hmm?
I mean, that part where we have the sharps and flats.
Oh, because it doesn't actually use any part of the scale.
Oh.
That's something
sounds
that
like a
you.
chromatic, so
What?
sounds like it's.
Oh yeah, it
chromatic.
does.
So I don't know what.
That's probably one of those. It's just the way that the notes are attracted to each other, and they've just written them out so that you know to actually do it if you're not in the know. And back in the day, things were much more oral, and so they were
Right.
known. In this case, sometimes these are written exegetically, so they would actually write out what they want you to do, as opposed to assuming that you'll do it based upon the way that you've been taught. So, but in this case, yeah, you're only ga di ga vo ga ga. There's not very much to do a scale change for. You're not like really using any more than, I don't know, 1 or 2 notes on the side of the note, and it doesn't extend anywhere else. So, slower.
Yeah, just because I'm not counting it right.
To the voice. To the voice. To the voice. So on the second voice,
Mm-hmm.
we've got the 4.
Right.
Vo voice.
I'm not holding something for the right amount of. I
I-
can't figure out where I get off.
At the end of that line,
I think I'm missing. Yeah, I'm not doing
so
that.
you've got voice with the 4, and but then you've got the oligon with the dot underneath it.
Yeah, I think I'm giving that opposite. I think I want to get right off that. So
Yeah.
give me the 8.5. Let's try it one more time.
Okay,
Don't mind.
sure. Back to the voice.
Yeah, that's good.
Which the.
Second line, end of the second line.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's true, he embellishes because he's bored.
You gotta fill in the space somehow.
Yes.
And Jesus Christ doesn't always cut it. So,
Here's theology there.
yeah, to the voice. To the voice. To Sounds good.
yeah.
Good? Keep going?
Yeah, just time to turn.
Okay, so just be aware there's a bunch of 4s coming up. So, of, Okay, there's a lot going on there. So, do it again? A little slower?
Yeah.
Okay. Of my supplication? Cool. So the key thing here is where do you breathe? Also, so you gotta hopefully think ahead or like see certain things or take every breath possible and like certain key phrases where you're like, I know I can breathe here. Which sometimes you will hear that they're not. Some chanters are specifically not trying to hold the note for as long as possible because they know like this could be disastrous. This could be a problem. Because you never know. Like let's say supplication. I supplicate. You gotta breathe there. Otherwise, there's really no place to breathe until right before shun. You know, and that's where you hope the Isan is holding it. That way you can just shun. So they're just gonna hold through the note for you. But otherwise, there's very few places to breathe. Keep going. Keep going.
Sure.
When I cry unto thee, unto thee. Rest. So there's certain key times that you can just relax and keep going. And sometimes you kind of need to do that just to, and something like this, no one's gonna notice if you just take 2 extra beats or do anything. They know they're in it for the long haul. So, and then it just kind of finishes really quickly.
Where'd he go? Oh.
It is
Yeah, it's a little bit at the top.
Yep.
Over the top.
All right. Thoughts? Questions?
Yeah, I want you to roll out next time Archbishop Nathaniel's in town doing Vespers.
Yeah.
Make a big hit with the
Yeah.
His Eminence.
I think he'll enjoy this.
I'll just pull you right off the stand.
Yeah. Once he hears
You
Lord,
take over.
once he hears Lord taking up about 5
Okay,
minutes.
the bishops.
Yeah.
Nick, too much.
Yeah.
Needs to
Too many words. Too many
Maybe,
notes.
maybe at some point if we for our feast day maybe we'll break out this. We'll break out the Nixontaria. Vespers will take 4 hours.
Father, you want more involvement by the laity? Have we got involvement right here
Yeah.
for you?
Then we've fallen over.
Yes.
So, do you want to do Let My Prayer or listen to the recording first?
No, we can listen to the recording. No, let's do it.
Okay. Let My Prayer is not as long, so it goes by a little bit more quickly, but it's kind of the same stuff. It doesn't necessarily repeat it all. But let me bring up the recording. Okay. So, I believe this is during a service, as far as I know. Oh yeah. This is actually like
the
not
recording
a
itself.
not an
Okay.
intentional like Rossum sing this for us. It's like
Yes.
it's actually him doing something.
That's interesting.
can see little mistakes here and there. Singer. There you go. So, pretty much, yeah. I don't know if you could just follow along with what he was doing. Sometimes his interpretation, goes a little bit around and circuitous.
I noticed that.
There were one or two times where he didn't count it right. So he did things too fast. Like I think there was one thing where you put a gorgon somewhere and it was kind of like that should have been a little.
They felt up a little bit now.
But yeah. So part of the thing. So we will probably never sing this. But the part of it is also like it's such a part of the literature of the Byzantine world, like this Jacobus Protopsaltes. Like a lot of the long stuff, it's his stuff, and this is one of them. Like if you're anywhere and they're gonna do a vigil and they're gonna sing something, it's gonna be this one, because a lot of the long vigils they're all 2-in-1. That's how it ends up working for whatever reason. But if you listen to recordings, like St. Anthony's Monastery has their St. Anthony's recording, the first thing on there is Lord I Have Pride in Greek, same exact thing.
Oh yeah.
So if you listen to it, you're like, wait a minute, I know that phrase now. Wait a minute. So a lot of it is pretty much the same, because you can do that with long melodies, because syllable patterns don't matter as much, because you can fit it, you can smudge things around a little bit easier. But so from a usability standpoint, we probably won't do it. If you go somewhere,
From a
and you're,
parachute ability standpoint.
yeah, if you go somewhere with other channers, this is
We'll roll it out. Huh?
good to have up your sleeve, or at least to have seen it or be familiar.
Right.
Or someone's like, oh man, that long that long Lord I've Cried. It's like, yeah, I know, I like that one. Even if you don't.
Posturing among
Yeah.
Byzantine chanters.
So yeah, it's one of those things. Same with this other thing. I mean, you can decide what you want to do for the rest of the time, but I'll hand out this triple meter thing because this is another classic, which normally comes after you would sing these long Lord I've Crieds. There's triple meter verses instead of duple meter verses.
I know it says continue
Triple meter.
versus triple meter.
Yep. And so that's another thing where, like, if you listen to certain recordings, let's say Simona Petras or something like that, you're like, why are they doing this in triple meter? It's like, because that's what you do. And then since we have them in English, it's actually a lot of fun to sing them. At least I think. So I leave it up to you whether you'd like to finish Lord I've Cried, or whether you'd like to do the verses. So.
Let's finish Lord I've Cried.
I agree. I want to
Okay.
complete what I have started.
Okay. Cool. I like you people.
3:45. That's about
Yes.
just about much time we got left.
Yeah.
We
Is
can't
that
stop.
the right? That's not the right.
It's
Oh, that's
never
not
right.
No, that's pretty close.
Wait, it's actually
Yeah, actually,
moving.
right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Oh, that
See,
is like
finally,
correct?
It's actually 7:56. Yes.
Mine, that's closer to mine.
Oh.
Mhm.
So let's go.
I think it's working.
Let's see. I don't know what pitch. I don't know what pitch he had off the look. Let my prayer be said. So that one is not sa. So it's not sa.
It's what?
It's not a triplet. It is
Set.
sa.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wait, and so, but it might be sa. As you've heard Ross do a bunch. So, set forth as incense before thee. How's that so far?
Mm-hmm.
Everything good?
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep.
The lift the lifting So, I also have some looks somewhere in there. Anything?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
how about from up again?
Sure.
Yeah.
What's our note on up?
For me, that's D.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
thought there was one. That's what threw me up.
Yep.
So,
Oftentimes there's a gorgon. in
Yeah,
the
well, that's
second
what
one.
I read that into it, even though it's not actually there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jeff's seeing things,
I am.
man.
Seeing gorgons.
Yep.
I'll have a talk with you though.
You know, we'll go back to up, I guess. So that's where you hope you have a bee choir. You know, you guys
Back
go.
to you.
So, part of this also, I think, is it's good from just building skill sets. It's like now you don't have any words to think about. Now it's just like keeping track of where everything is and where you are and where the meter is. And sometimes without the Yisan, especially if you're not doing Nipavu, which sometimes it's nice to do Nipavu in this, you kind of forget what note am I on. You know, it's like no, is that a pa or is that a vu
I mean, I can do
now?
this all.
Da, or is it na? So, yeah, it starts pulling your brain a little bit. Once you get used to it, it's kind of second nature. But until then, it's a challenge on all sides. So,
Cool.
I hope that was edifying, even if we won't use it.
You never know.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know if it was
But don't they use it on
separate
feast days?
angle.
Yeah.
In the Greek churches, I know they do.
I-
If you were
Sing them,
doing-
but I've
You know,
heard
I'm
them.
trying to figure out
What?
if this is,
But
you
I've
know,
heard them
sometimes
sing
if you change
this
the
This, yeah.
angle,
feast day
it'll
of
change
the
the color.
particular
No.
cathedral.
No, I've
Especially
never.
if a bishop or a hierarch shows up. You know,
Yeah, I've never actually heard it sung in context. I've heard the Nixantaria, the last 10 verses of the opening psalm, when thou openest thy hand, but I've never heard the Lord
I
I've
think
cried.
Erasmus when I go to Athens. You know, Bill Alice sings this when the feast day of the church. Erasmus sings October 20th.
Yeah.
You
I
were
think
doing
they
this
always
before
have
my father's
hierarchs and they have the
Yeah.
city mayor there, and so they gotta drag it out.
Well, I wonder. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do a Reader's Vespers, but they could take the Senate. You know.
A Reader's Vesper takes an hour and a half.
Yes, they will be ours.
Yeah, people won't know what's coming.